Hey everybody, so I've been wanting to conduct a couple of experiments with the Leaf, both having to do with energy usage, I guess. One of them involving the higher end of the speed limits, and the other one involving what I've been able to ascertain, at least to the best of my knowledge, is the ideal driving speed for the Nissan Leaf, which my understanding is 35 miles an hour. So the test I want to conduct today is the 35 mile an hour test, and basically what I want to do is I'm in real world in a real world situation here, not on the track. So what I've done is I've laid out a course that will take me through as close to 35 mile an hour most of the time as possible, and the goal is to see how far the car will travel on a full charge in as close to ideal speed conditions as possible. At the end of the video, I'll show some of the specifics, such as temperature today, and obviously I'm going to start with a full battery. I'll talk about which accessories I'll have used. The car usually shows on a full charge, it usually shows between 102 and 123 mile range. Okay, so what I was just showing you there, and I apologize for the quality, that was just a screenshot of my computer, but it's basically the US government information on the 2015 Nissan Leaf, which this one is, and it shows an EPA rating of 84 miles per gallon, and it showed 100 miles per 30 kilowatt. I'm not sure why they choose to separate it that way, but anyway, so that's equivalent to doing 3.3 miles per kilowatt if you do the math. So we're doing much better than that. As I stated previously, this usually shows a range of 102 to 123 on a full charge now, and again, we're not doing that because we're using some of the energy for the things other than moving the vehicle. But I think this test will show that we are doing much better than 84 miles. Yeah, I've reset the average speed. As you can see, it's showing nothing, so that we can get a clean average speed for our test. And again, really the idea is really isn't to do an average of 35 miles an hour. The idea is to be at 35 miles an hour as possible as a real-world test like this would allow. As you can see, the range showing is 120 miles, and the battery percentage is at 98. I have I'm not going to be using the climate control, or I'm going to try to not use the climate control during the trip. But while I had it plugged in, I did have the climate control on. In fact, as you can see from the green flashing light, it's still plugged in. I'm about to unplug it. There's been some back and forth as to why and under which conditions the car uses some of the battery. For the climate control while it's plugged in, Ian from the UK has explored that to some degree, as well as have others. I'm yet to really take a look at that. Okay, so we're off. Just to let you know, as I was unplugging, the battery did go up to 99. It's at 99 when I got back in the car. So we're starting with 99% because of the using the climate control when it was still plugged in, and 120, and actually I think I had mentioned the range was 120 before. if that's the case. It jumped up to 121, so it's showing 121 now. Also, I'd mentioned that we're doing better than the EPA average of 3.3 on number of miles per kilowatt hour, and we're in fact doing 5. It's pretty common for my wife and I to do between 4.9 and 5.1. Most often we're at 5, so that's what it's showing now. I will say that that's based on not a lot of highway driving. We do drive at 55 miles an hour sometimes, but it's on a relatively short road. We also do 60 sometimes, and that road too is not more than a handful of miles. So that's not the average driving for us is probably somewhere around 45 miles an hour. Okay, so we're 15 minutes into our test, and I thought I'd go over some of the numbers that I'm seeing. So on energy consumption, there's nothing on climate control, obviously, because I'm not using it. Other systems, that always registers at least 0.2 or 0.25 kilowatts. I guess with the power steering, power brakes, dash, display, etc. There's always, that seems to be the minimum possible consumption is the lines. There's no graduation between 0 and 0.5, and the line is just south of the middle point. So I guess we're doing 0.2 to 0.25 on that. Range is displaying 111. I also, when we started, I also reset the energy economy average, the number of miles per kilowatt hour. So currently displaying 6 on that. Obviously doing a lower number of lower average speed is going to have a positive effect on that. Our average speed usually is over 35 miles an hour. Let's see what other numbers I can give you. Battery percentage remaining is 89. Our average speed has been 29.2, so it's been below 35. That's the roads we've been going on have been between 35 and between 25 and 40 miles an hour. So that's what accounts for that. Plus stop and go, at red lights and stop signs and so forth. And we've traveled a total of 9 miles. So I think that's about it. Okay, a full half hour into our test now. Incidentally, we're about to get, I mentioned a little while ago that that stretch of road, one of the stretches of road that we traverse regularly, that's 55 miles an hour. We're actually about to get on one of those. Okay, so 1 hour into our test. Not gone quite at the speed that I expected, nor obviously as many miles, primarily because I've chosen a route that, although it has speeds as low as 25 and speeds as high as 55, it's the route that I felt had the most average speed limits between 30 and 40, the 30 and 40 range. It also happens to be a waterfront route, and tourist season is starting, which means that I haven't been able to go at speed limits a lot of times. For instance, right now the speed limit is 35, and I'm traveling at 28 miles an hour because of the traffic. So the result is that our average speed this far has been 28.5 miles per hour. I don't think that's as bad as if we had to go faster than 35. I think that would be more inefficient than going slower than 35. So in terms of a real world test, I don't think that's terrible for my purposes. Let's see what else. So we've got 80 miles left in the estimated range. I already told you the average speed. We've made 3 trees so far, and we're doing an energy economy average of 5.8, so that's much better than what I usually get, which is around 5. And that obviously has to do with, I think, primarily with a lower average speed. Battery percentage remaining is 66, so I think I'm going to turn around at around 51-52%, and then do if I get near my house with some remaining battery, then I'll just do some short jaunts until I get down to, we'll see. I've never been in turtle mode, and there's probably not much sense in getting into that. We would just gain probably a handful of miles, if that. So we'll see. Okay, so I just taken a little break. Well, I guess I was here about 25 minutes. Grab a little something to eat at Seaside. So let's see, we're about to take off from here. Battery at 61%, 76 estimated range. 22.2 miles per hour has been the average speed. Is that right? Energy economy 5.9 miles per kilowatt hour. And yeah, average speed 22.2. It's been lower than I wished for, but like I said, I think lower is better than higher. And we are at almost four trees and 77 degrees. Fortunately, the temperature keeps going lower. It was 83 when we started. So onward until, like I said, we get to about 52%. Okay, so I'm at 52%, and I just turned around. I got further than the computer, than the Nissan mapping app said I would. It told me I would get to the end of Rosemary Beach, but I actually managed to get into Panama City Beach, which is a few miles further. So that's good, good sign. So let's review and see where we are here. So we've got just left 67 miles showing on the estimated range. Down now to 51% battery. Almost completing my 5th tree. I've gone exactly 50 miles just now. And what else? Average speed 23.7 miles per hour. And energy economy 5.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So now I'm heading back, and hopefully I'll make it home. I'm not really too worried about that. I think I'm going to get home, and I'm going to have to do a few spins around town to get the battery even lower, is what I think is going to happen. Okay, so 2.5 hours into the test, and of course stopped for lunch, snack. But so let's see where we are. 55 miles left on the estimated range. Energy economy average 6 miles per kilowatt hour. 40% of battery remaining. And 24.9 miles per hour average speed. I also, as I'm heading home, I just set the the sat nav to go home just to see what's going on, and it's showing, based on current route, I believe, that we've got 31 miles remaining and 56 minutes. So I guess that's where we are at the moment. Okay, so I am heading back, essentially the route I took out. So the water is now to my left and all of the tourists to the right. And let's see, 3 hours in, we've got 37 miles estimated range remaining. Energy economy average 6.1 miles per kilowatt hour, so that keeps going up. Traveled exactly 77 miles. What else? 77 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made 5 trees. I guess the maximum is 5 trees that you can make. I say that because it's been at 5 trees for some time. Which is kind of unfortunate because I don't know how many trees I made. I suppose I could shut it off and turn it back on again. But anyway. 29% battery percentage remaining. Average speed 25.6 miles per hour. I think that's gone up a bit. 3.5 hours into the experiment. I just took another little break. Just of about 10 minutes. So where are we at? Let's see. 76 degrees. The trees remain the same. I've established that 5 trees is the maximum. 23% of the battery remaining. 29 miles estimated range remaining. Average speed 24.1. Energy economy average 6.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, so it's almost it's 6:20 p.m. So almost 4 hours into the experiment.
In about a quarter of a mile, left turn onto Chicago Avenue. Then, in 1/10 of a mile, left turn.
Let's kill this. So that I can talk. That's right. Yes. Okay, so just now had the battery low level indicator come on. It's telling me I've got a range of 21 miles, but that's flashing. And still showing an average economy of it's now 6.0 miles per kilowatt hour. 16% of the battery left. I know from experience that it shows you the low battery indicator at 16%, and then I guess at 8%. It talks about very low battery is then the indicator at that time. Okay, so that's the end of the test. We got a very impressive result, I think. Here's what it looks like now. It's not in turtle mode yet, so should still have a few miles in it. Okay, so I came outside to try to grab some remaining light. Obviously I turned on the light, the headlights for the last few minutes, but it was really just the last few minutes. I probably through 1% of the drive, so I'm not going to count that. As I mentioned, I'll put some statistics in, some facts in about how the drive was conducted, but the end results are really impressive. It actually did 120.7 miles, which I knew it was going to do more than 84, but I didn't really expect it to be this much. I think in the average miles per hour ended up being 23.6. So I the average miles per hour ended up being 23.6. Really impressive. This means I know there are a lot of derogatory names. I think in the UK they call it gasometer, and something similar in this country to refer to the estimated number of miles that can be driven with the battery power remaining. I think it's very realistic. I think if you subtract 5% for usage of accessories, I think you're looking at a very realistic number, unless of course you're about to embark on a trip that's going to have a significantly different driving style from the trip that put that number there. Then obviously the number is not going to be as meaningful, depending on what your driving style normally is and what the driving style of the trip is going to be. Then the number of miles you get out of that charge could be higher or lower, but overall just incredibly impressive with both what the battery can do under ideal, though real world ideal conditions, and also what the with that mileage range estimate is, and how true to life that really is. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I tried to graph some of the more pertinent information about the test. So we ran with a couple of factors here. Two of the windows were open all of the time, or most of the time. The climate controls never used, and no headlights were used. Average speed ended up ranging, and again, this is not actual speeds. This is the data from the average speed. So average ran from 21.7 miles an hour to 29.2 miles an hour. These are some facts about, this is a fact about the course, the different roads. So they ranged from 25 miles an hour to 55 miles an hour. And the outside temperature range, we started out the test at about 83 degrees, and it was about 77 when we finished. Throughout the test, we saw average miles per kilowatt hour from 5.6 to 6.1. I think we ended either at 6 or 6.1. But the car did very well. We started out with 121 miles as the estimated range, and the car actually did 120.7, and it was not in turtle mode when I stopped, so actually it probably would have done the 128 miles that it indicated it would do. The bar graph basically shows the green line is the number of trees that were made. It tops out at 5 because it's the most it'll show. The light blue line is the number of miles traveled over the time of the test, which started at 2:30 and went through approximately 7 p.m. And the red line, like I said, was the estimated range, and the blue line was the battery percentage remaining throughout the test. So I took this data down about every 15 to 20 minutes. So it did really well. The range estimator did exactly what it promised to do. And again, although these weren't extreme conditions, these were not ideal conditions either. I'm really impressed with the car. Obviously, it does a lot more. It has the potential to do a lot more than the 84 miles that the EPA rating gives it. It's just one more I mean, it did much better than I thought it would, even though, I knew that it would do a lot more than the 84. Really pleased with it. Hope this helps some folks out who are thinking about buying one. I'll probably, I imagine, may get some comments with regards to how I conducted the test. Obviously, it could have been conducted in any of a number of ways, but it was a real-world test, as you guys saw. Conducted on actual roads. So I think it has merit. So let me know what you guys think. And hope this helps some of you out, and let me know if you've got any questions.